Hey kids, it's your dad here. I know it's been a while. You know, Christmas is gone, New Year's gone. It's almost mid-January. And here I am. This time it's not gonna contain any playing. I'll warn you already. It's just gonna be talk. But I'll try to be real quick with this. I thought you might be interested in my small setup that I have here, that I occasionally bring to the gigs or in the studio. So let's see what we have here. Hopefully this gimbal thing works. So, no, it doesn't work. Well, it's a bit shaky. But here we go. There's the old pedal board. The Vox Wah, which is not a Vox actually, it's a boomerang. You heard it on the Crazy Mama song I played with the slide. That's the boomerang. Then there's the tuner. And from there we go to the EP3 Echoplex preamp that I built. It's pretty much always on. The Nobles. There's the Ibanez tube screamer that I only use for feedbacking, because it kind of sounds like shit, really. I mean, compared to the Nobles, there's no competition, really. But it has a thing. It's got that mid hump that gives you a pretty... It gives you feedback if you want a fairly low volume, especially when you hit it before the twin tube. Now that twin tube is a 2-channel valve distortion unit, and I think it's one of the greatest distortion units ever built. It sounds phenomenal. It doesn't sound like a stump box, it sounds like an amp, and that's really important to me as well. Like the Nobles, it doesn't sound like a pedal, it sounds like an amp. So it's kind of natural. That's what it says, natural overdrive. So that's the twin tube, 2 channels, which is great. You can use one for crunch and one for lead. From there we go to another booster. That's the full tone with the germanium limiter, if you want to use that. Great sounding pedal. The carbon copy, delay. Again, full tone super trem. Best sounding tremolo there is. And Comet in headroom. This is a big motherfucker, but what can you do? It's got a real spring in it. You know, I tried all kinds of different DSP springs, digital springs. Man, they're not for me. I tried them. They all sounded like shit to my ears. I'm sorry. So that one's got a real spring in it. And it's a 2-channel, which is great. You got less and more. And here's the Minivant, which is obviously the Leslie. And from here on we go stereo. So Minivant stereo into the Lele splitter. And this is important, people. if you're running stereo rigs, you need this because you got phase flip 180 and you got ground loop as well. Why the 180 flip? Well, because if you're running 2 amps, they're not always in phase with each other. They can be 180 degrees out of phase with each other. Especially, well, let's say here are 2 amps, right? There's the Fender Super. And here's the Ampeg M12 Mercury. They're 180 degrees out of phase with each other. So if I want to run a stereo setup with the Super and the Ampeg, I need to flip the phase on one of these amps. And you can do it with the Lele. So that's really good. Here's the old 5E3 Tweed Deluxe. Some consider one of the best sounding amps there is. And I agree. It is a great sounding amp. This one's got a Jensen. That one's an extra cab with a Goodman's, 60s Goodman's 30-watt Pulsonic 12-inch. I use it for testing different speakers. Hello. The Ampeg's got a Goodman's as well. Like I said, the 5A3 Tweed Deluxe got its original Jensen. I think the Super's got some WGS 2x10s in it. Now the Super that I have is one of the rare 5E4A models, which means it's got 2 6V6s instead of 2 6L6s. So that's roughly 15 to 20 watts. So actually all these amps that I have here are 6V6 amps, and they produce roughly the same amount of horsepower. I love these 6V6 amps. They have just enough of clean headroom, but they break up really nicely without destroying your ears. So they sound really good, even though they're not blasting on full volume, like let's say on some British amps, which they really have to be loud to sound good. So it's all about the breakup, the sweet spot, if you like. These amps have a very, very low sweet spot. So you can make them sound really, really fantastic without destroying your ears. That's why I love them. And they are small, and they're not heavy. So they're easy to carry around. That's why I love them. Okay, that's that. Okay, so here are the heavy hitters. There's an old Showman, the JBL 15-inch JBL D130, 4 6L6s. That's 80 watts of power. Too much. It's the old Pro Reverb. Fender Electric Instruments. If you know, you know. 2x12. 2 6L6s. Great sounding amp. But it's a heavy motherfucker. What else? No Hummingbird. Here's the old FG 180. These are great guitars, by the way. Some call them poor man's Martins, and I agree. I paid 10 euros for mine. Great amp, great guitar. Okay, let's see what else. Here's the old Ibanez 12-string Concord. Great guitars. Another 5A3. This time in a more Marshallish kind of thing here. I don't know what to call. But yeah, it's basically a Tweed Deluxe souped up in a Marshallish housing, 2x12, Pulsonics, greenbacks, built by Mr. Enholm. So this is basically a Tweed Deluxe with Dumble modifications. I got two of these actually. Fantastic amps. The old J50 round shoulder, last year 67. And a Gibson Gospel. Remember these? Cool guitars. Yeah, so these are the acoustics, some of them. There we go. What else? There's the old metronome, analog. The Boss loop station I use for practice. Various slides. You know, here's the Coruscant, glass, brass. The mud slide. You need a lot of them, obviously. Yeah, that's it. About it. The lamps, the pedal board, and the guitars. Alright, take care. See you later. Bye now.